WRFG, yes. Your station for progressive information and quality handpicked music. We are back, INI Radio. I'm Sharice Nicole. This is the second Friday here on INI Radio, and we do what's called Higher Consciousness Friday. And we have our Mama Jamila Franklin every second Friday call us up, or, she calls. She comes in when she is, feeling like floating in, like Mama Tassili say, we want to see your face, we want to feel you, we want to see you. So yes, but she calls in every second Friday to do her commentary. She's an aromatherapist, a certified aromatherapist, a Reiki master, and an overall spiritual counselor, metaphysicist. And we always give thanks for her presence. And she is here on the line. Greetings, Mama.
Greetings. How are you?
All is well. It's great to hear your voice. Me and Tassili were just talking about how we love when you come in the studio so we can see you.
Right? Yeah, well, I'm seeing the beloved, beautiful Tassili tomorrow.
Okay, divine reflection. I still see you. You shining so bright. You coming through the phone. But
I take that line though. Every time people give me a compliment, I just say I'm a reflection of you. And I tell them I got it from Tassili.
And it is the truth, because before we had mirrors, all we had was each other's eyes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh, look at Tassili busting out the jewels.
You invited
me. Pastor Blunt said that's some more pimp talk right there.
That mirror, I was looking in your eyes.
That's right. You get a chance to see your reflection.
So those who don't know, tomorrow from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Tassili's Raw Reality in the Backyard Garden, there will be what's called the Natural Mystic Fair. And there will be presenters, there will be entertainment, music, high vibration, high energy entertainment, presentations, and practitioners all over the place. You have Reiki masters. We found a man that actually, Blue Pill found a man that reads faces.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's what's up.
He said he was so accurate. He was so excited.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to have a booth.
Well, we're gonna, we're working on him, trying to see how we can work it out, and get him, make sure he's there. And so, we have just beautiful people in the building: massage therapy, Reiki, the readings. We have one sister, Iashola Karima, who does the African Spirituality Conference. Mm-hmm. She's going to be doing readings as well as doing Reiki. Her energy is so beautiful, and people like that deal with energetic, the energetic reality of things, and help people to tap in on those levels. It's so important. So the Natural Mystic Fair, it's for the mystic in all of us.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yes, and so we have presentations by Mama Jamila Franklin, Professor Jamila Franklin, who is on the line with us right now, who does the Higher Consciousness, usually a commentary every second Friday here. And so we're just going to have more of a round table and, have her join in and speak to what we're doing as well. She's going to be speaking on divine dealings with losing loved ones. And I think that's so powerful in so many ways. And when I first met her, that's what I heard her speak about, and it touched my heart and my soul and everything in my existence so deeply. She felt like an angel to me in her way of her way of approaching and dealing with that, and teaching others about how to deal with that in such a deep spiritual manner. And so, you know, I'm excited and look forward. I think that's something that people really need to know about, and just hear, you know, that experience on that level. So we thank you for that, and we know you lost your husband how long ago?
13 years.
Wow, it's been a while. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity. So, you know, to be in the midst of all of these wonderful beings that you have on the show today, and just in awe. You know, just in awe.
And like she said, this is such a perfect reflection. Then we have none other, all the way from Arizona.
Sedona, Arizona.
Sedona, Arizona. He's in the building. I need pictures. I remember last time I had both of them in the studio. It was a couple of years. It was like, it's been maybe about 5. Yes, you know what I'm saying? And I took a picture. I'm going to make sure I get one. She was sitting on the same side and everything. And so, you know, definitely we give thanks for Astarius Miraculi coming forward and joining us here on II Radio, who will be at the Mystic Fair as well with his presentation, which is named what?
Realizing Your Infinity. And in a nutshell, I'd say it to you this way: bridge across the seas of time, yield passage to this soul of mine, let me taste the ecstasy I knew before human misery. A mighty essence then I am. I wrote the pages of the master plan, dancing on a sea of being. Light and love we're all decreeing, calling to my fallen self time to regain heaven's wealth. Cross the bridge of what's to be, where from your nightmare we are free. I hear the angels calling me, saying, wake up, God, you're really free. Wipe the nightmare from your eyes, spread your wings, and watch death die. Bridge across the seas of time, shackles of my soul unbind. Awake now from illusions dread, I'm safe at home in heaven's bed. And so we're going to be realizing the infinity, which is simply to remember what already is. Sometimes we think we have to do this or that in order to come into the up-leveling reality of who we are, but it's about allowing and remembering what is already there, because what we've only lost is focused attention upon it. It's always there, unfolding down the corridors of forever, co-eternal with the Most High. So we just want to shift attention back to that reality of our infinitude and come back home to ourselves.
Ashe.
Ashe. You can just cut the energy in here. It's so strong and beautiful. I want to say, okay, when I was speaking to you on the phone, I want to say that Astarius used to live in Atlanta, and I remember going to your going away party and everything when you moved, and he moved to Arizona, right? And so recently I spoke to him, and he moved from one part of Arizona to the other.
From Phoenix to Sedona.
Okay, talk to people about the energy there that you were speaking about.
Well, Sedona is a vortex, you know, on the planet. A vortex is a portal through which the higher dimensional energy comes into the Earth's sphere and then is distributed throughout, you know, the world. For example, you know, Sedona, the local population may be 15,000, but there's like 4 million annually coming through there, coming to experience the frequency of there. So it becomes a catalyst for the vortex that exists within the inner sanctum of our own being, because everything out there is really a reflection, you know, of that which is inside. You know. So it's a triggering of the remembering of that.
All right. Yeah. And that's powerful. You brought us all that energy back. Show people on the live those wands.
Yeah, okay, let's pull them out. And while we pull them out, I'm going to send you a telepathic transmission of Sedona. Here we go.
Only the Natural Mystic Fair edition. Line already. He did the didgeridoo with his mouth.
I
That's
swallowed
right.
one.
Didgeridoo?
Didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tassili, Natural Mystic Fair. What is the? Oh, we have Blue Pill in the building.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and light. Peace,
Peace, love, light. Okay, so talk about the importance, the need, the mission, the purpose of the Mystic Fair.
Thank you, Sharice, for this opportunity to really add additional light to the work that light
We're listening
workers
to
and light-
WRFG Atlanta. Go ahead.
to the work that light beings are doing really all over the planet and throughout the galaxy. And the Natural Mystic Fair was born out of a series of gatherings that I've had over the years since I've been in Atlanta. I moved here in '88. And once I actually had the restaurant, Tassili's Raw Reality, the Natural Mystic Fair was actually the first event that we had to give back to the community. Mysticism has always been a part of my life since birth, and I consider myself to be an urban mystic. And what that means really is someone who is very much in alignment with the natural occurrences of life, with universal law, and they are connected in such a way that they become the mystery of life itself through the discovery of self, knowledge of self ultimately, because as above, so below, as within, so without. And so people have had a lot of questions and a lot of fear around what mysticism is and around what spirituality is, because people on the planet are so religion driven. And at one point, religion was actually an opportunity for us to fellowship, to realign with spirit. And spirit is that connection that really all beings have. They just express it differently. And so there was a lot of persecution going on when religion got to be so organized that the personalities and politics and culture and environment and the actual time started to really take precedence over the realigning process for people, which is really about discovering the divinity within them. And when that happened, people began to become controlled as the masses and became pawns, if you will, for the powers that be to control the masses. And so for the people that marched to the beat of a different drummer, if you will, they were on the brunt of the persecution, called witches, heretics, all kind of stuff that really wasn't true, but in fact, because the masses were afraid of them, because they had no knowledge of self, they were in ignorance of universal law, of divine law, of nature. They then lashed out in fear. And so, for example, the witch burnings in Salem, Massachusetts, the witch hunts that took place many years ago. The first woman that was burned at the stake was an herbalist. Her name was Tituba. She was an African woman from the Caribbean. She was enslaved, brought up to Salem, and was working in somebody's kitchen, and she did what she knew to do, which was to work with the herbs on the land, work with nature, and she was healing people. And because the church wanted to take over the medical profession, the church then went on a campaign to seek out anybody that worked with nature and to burn them literally at the stake for being spiritual beings, for being in tune. So on a level, our spirituality is one that is political too, simply because it's our way of being. It's become politicized by the people that are controlling the world from that aspect of beingness. And indigenous people are hunted down. You know, they're discredited, impoverished, all this kind of stuff, whereas they used to be held in high regard in their communities. So the indigenous healers, that's what I mean to say. Well, the indigenous people are hunted down, so I gotta address that. But specifically, their healers, their medicine people, their shaman, are terrorized. And again, it's in the name of politics. And so we have an opportunity now to raise the consciousness of the masses, to recognize that spirit is in all of us. It's alive and well. And it's about tuning in to the divinity within by getting in touch with nature. So one of the main things I share with people is to just take off your shoes and go outside and get grounded. Put your feet on the grass, on the dirt. Lean up against a tree. You know, just even if you're not in a position to even do that, as an urban mystic, because I'm not in a cave anywhere, I'm not tucked away in a monastery, I'm not on a mountaintop, not in a hut in the bush, I'm in the jungles of the concrete in North America, right? And so what does a mystic like myself do? Well, I always meditate on life and activating and accessing the highest form of life. So if I'm choosing life, that could be as simple as an apple over a bag of potato chips, juice over soda, and water over juice, because we all know that water cleanses and purifies. And as vessels of being, to be conductors of energy for the divine intelligence, which is the synonymous name for spirit, or the Most High, or God, or Jehovah, or Allah, or Unkulunkulu. It doesn't really matter what we call the divine intelligence. Being able to channel it is what it's really about. And so that's like drinking water again. We'll go back to water. You know, you can drink pure spring water or deep well aquifer water, and you can also drink coconut water. One has a higher electrical charge. The others tend to be more magnetic and electromagnetic in some cases. Now, all of those are going to revitalize the body and allow for the vessel, the human vessel, to be a conductor of that divine intelligence, a conscious, intentional conductor. Because we are conducting energy all the time. It's just most people are doing it unconsciously, so there's all this randomness. And that's why the world is looking like it's looking right now, because of all this unintentional, unfocused, random creation that's going on, right?
Not intentional.
Exactly.
You know, we talk about intentional creation, right? Intentional living.
Right.
You know, and I don't know about y'all, but all right, the full moon energy is here. It's Friday the 13th. Mama Jamila just texted me the reminder. Astarius is up in here with them big old wands from Arizona. We got these high energy beings in the building. I'm trying to figure out, I got everything dancing in me right now. You know, I feel so light inside. I feel so lit up inside, you know, right now. And so let's talk about this, you know, like you talked about people being fearful of mysticism and spirit, right? And so, you know, like for instance, Friday the 13th, you know, we're just so trained to think that that's a scary thing for so many reasons.
Right.
Media, remember the movie?
Let's take the number 13.
Let's do it.
13 is a number of ascension. It's a number of alchemy. You know, the alchemy of transforming base metals into gold, transforming poison into potion, transforming pain into joy, darkness into light. I just got a download on mystic, you know, and that is mist, I see, to see through the mist. Mist I see.
You just got that download?
Just now.
Powerful.
And so we want to go ahead and see through the mist, you know, and to transcend all of the shadows and the darkness and the trials and the tribulations, because the one amazing thing is that those things will never outlast us. They'll never stand the test of eternity. You know, they'll be blown into nothingness by the winds and storms of time. It is wise not to despise it. Use the dung to fertilize it, for life's greatest connoisseur gets the best crops from the best manure. You see, and so we want to take those trials and tribulations and confrontations and use them as fertilizer and follow the wisdom of the soil, that never complained when that glorified waste was dumped on it, but rather went into the wisdom of alchemy and yielded a richer crop, not so much in spite of that waste, but because of it. And that's what the mystic does. Mist I see, to see through the mist. We're able to find the advantage within the adversity.
That's powerful
Yeah.
too, because that goes with what I was saying about the water. Because if we're cleansed as vessels, then we can truly see, as you're speaking about.
Absolutely.
The mist I see. So that's very powerful.
I would like to add something about Friday the 13th that Sister Eushea said to me. I think this is really, really powerful. And I said, wow. And I just texted to you, beloved Therese, the secret power of Friday the 13th, a 14th century cover-up. Friday the 13th is actually good luck, as it is associated with the 13 cycles of the moon in a lunar year. This is why a woman has 13 cycles a year and ovulates on the 13th day. In 1487, free-thinking and divine female energy was suppressed and labeled witchcraft by Heinrich Klemmer, who went forth to burn many healers, like Tassili was talking about, many healers on the stake due to forced ignorance, like Tassili said, and a hatred for powerful female leaders. This is why Friday the 13th is actually a spiritual day. Let me repeat that. It is actually a spiritual day of enlightenment, divine feminine energy, and healing that should be sacred instead of hated. Thank you, Sister Eushea, for sending it to me. That's really powerful.
Ashe.
And one other little note about the Friday the 13th energy is that when we look at the day Friday, it is a Venusian day. Friday is ruled by the planet Venus. And so we have love and transmutation joining. See, the 13 is a transmutation energy. 13 is a Plutonian kind of an energy. It's like death, regeneration, transformation, but then that which transcends death is ascension. And so we have the transmutation, of the 13 joining with the love of Friday because it's ruled by Venus. And so we want to, we want to re-deify the resonance, of Friday the 13th because it is an ascension portal. And I think that the way we've been trained away from it because the negative powers that be don't want us to come home to the absoluteness that we eternally are. And Friday the 13th is an access code for that eternal remembering.
On a full moon, nonetheless.
Yeah, you want to...
All of that transformational birthing energy is present. Venus, you have the 13, and you have full moon energy.
In Pisces.
In Pisces, and the sign, and we in Virgo, resonating with that woman energy. So
that's it. And then
we're gonna birth a beautiful event tomorrow.
Ashe. And even for today, this is really the labor of love that we're here sharing in this moment because we are collectively birthing it. The 13 is also 4, and that's the square of Ma'at. That's also in the Kabbalistic system, Dalet, the door. It has created the portal for all of us to be able to midwife this divine consciousness. And thus really the purpose of the Natural Mystic Fair, to provide for the masses the opportunity to experience in a safe environment what is available to them in remembrance of themselves. Astarius spoke to that about the remembering. And it's something I speak to and Blue Pill speaks to. Many people talk about that because the Osirian story of Osir and Set and Aset dealt with Set being Osir being dismembered by his brother Set. And then his wife, his queen, going to get his body parts and putting him back together. She remembered him. Okay? So this is the work of the divine feminine. It's not for us to be sitting up talking about, oh, we don't need the man, and men ain't this, and men ain't that, and it's all about the woman. No, it's about us working together. It's about us activating the feminine energy, which is the nurturing energy in all of us. The only reason why women are able to channel it easier is that because we're open on both ends. We're open in our crown chakra, and we're open from our womb. So we're getting the earth energy frequency, and we're getting the divine intelligence frequency. Men are already getting the divine intelligence frequency. They have to just work on cultivating the feminine energy, but it's there in them too. So it's really about us awakening that nurturing, healing, loving frequency, the love of self first, which then leads into the book that I'm writing called The Journey to Selffulness. So that's the Maatical balance of being able to not be selfless as we've been taught to be, where we're giving to everyone else such that it's nothing left for us. And we're not talking about being selfish, where we're narcissistic and only seeing what's there for us and no one else, but to be self-full, where we are so fulfilled in love of self that we are connected to the abundance of the all that is. So absolutely our cup is overflowing, and we have plenty to give to others because we are so full. So self-full is a phrase that I have coined to share with people. It really, as the ancestors have downloaded it to me, to be able to share with people, to recognize that there is a space of homeostasis where we can find absolute balance. And that requires us to just be present, because things change all the time. If you see the scales, right? Something's always being added, something's always being taken away. You have to be mindful so that the balance stays in place. And so I'm really honored to be able to be a vessel for this energy to channel through. And I don't do it alone. Never do it alone. It's always with
And speaking of you as a vessel, Sagittarius.
Yes.
so the planet Jupiter, your planet, ruling planet of Sagittarius, is in a square relationship to this full moon. So that's an expansion factor that's taking place. Because whenever there's a full moon, there's an oppositional alignment between the sun and the moon. So the moon is full in Pisces, and so the sun is in Virgo. And then Jupiter is like making this T-square. So all of the energy apexes, at the ruling planet of Sagittarius, of Jupiter, which is bringing about this expansion. So it's not accidental that you are the host of the Natural Mystics Fair. So we do have this opportunity for expansion. And one last thing, the Neptune energy brings the frequency of compassion. Neptune is a ruler of Pisces. It's nebulous. It's co-eternal with Creator. It's formlessness. You see, and so it's an access code to our absoluteness.
It's the ocean.
Yeah, and it teaches us about the oneness of the wholeness. And the drop is the microcosmic container of the ocean. Everything to be known of the ocean can also be found in the drop.
That's right.
Same as everything that can be known of God, Goddess Absolute, can be found within any one of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's time to remember that. And in remembering, it's the eternal remembrance, which means we prememorate the glorious realities of our future, and we commemorate the glorious realities of our past, bringing them into the now memoration of this moment. 101 point I am now, eternal remembrance of all that I am, unfolding down the corridors of forever. Love you so much.
Yes.
Ashe.
Yeah, Ashe. Those just tuning in, we are just blessed with all of the Natural Mystic Fair, some of the presenters, and we have Blue Pill, who is co-hosting the Natural Mystic Fair tomorrow behind Tassili's Raw Reality from 12 to 7 p.m. And so, before we go to a quick break, I want to ask you, Blue Pill, it was my idea to bring you in, and it's because the young people
Yes.
need to be able to get this information and have someone that they feel, they're comfortable with comprehending,
Right.
And so you have that edge and you have that respect from the younger generation when it comes to the next level of thinking and consciousness and the metaphysical reality of things and things like this. So what is their importance, to you when it comes down to your part in this and the need for it for young people?
Primarily, I'm a bridge, like he said. I'm aged enough to respect and commemorate my past and what that stood for, but I'm also mindful enough to be a visionary to really understand that the future is in the hands of the youth, and I was in that position before, and this what led me to consciousness, because I was grasping, I was looking, and there wasn't that much that was available at that time. Now there is platforms and there's stages that's available, and we are in Atlanta, we're in Atlantis, we're in a forest, and forest is synonymous with natural mystics.
Yes.
These are the things that natural mystics are made of, and the planet is in turmoil right now. So while there's a lot of things that can distract the youth, this message is a pertinent one. And I feel, even talking about Piscean energy being present during this full moon, that's imagination. And we're not going to necessarily throw blows and fight our way out of this. It's going to require a lot of ingenuity, imagination, visualization, spirit questing, a lot of things that these events can act as the catalyst or the launch pad for. A person can come to this event and meet their spiritual guide and end up in these forests and take a vision quest and come back with some answers. The earth wants to communicate, at this particular time. This is a very trying, deciding, time period. So if I could do anything, I want to use my voice as a clarion call to remind youth that, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to, explore your youthfulness as well. But you also have to prepare yourself for your assignment, for the rest of your life. And I think that when they see us, we kind of represent that, we can have fun, we
be cool, be fly, cool, and all of that.
All the lingo.
But we got to grow up this conversation. We got to grow up these our choices. We have to grow up, and and it's like we see what our parents did. We see, for me, what I grew up doing. We see, the traditional SAD, SAS, standard American diet, or the traditional way of doing things in a way where it starts to be taboo, or they're them over there, those conscious people and all of that. And it's just really about elevation. It's really about growing up. It's really about understanding that we can be cool, fun, we can have fun, we can be, do funky music that's conscious, we can, do everything. I'm a regular person. I don't look at myself like, oh, I have to wear locks, or I have to, it might be a young girl looking at me, who's more comfortable with me because I got weed braids in my head, and I'm speaking a certain level of consciousness with that, and have a certain level of experience with living a certain way with that, and so, it's really important that we understand that we have to stop judging each other according to certain things that are not really privy and important to understanding that everybody have their purpose. Exactly. And their mission and what they're supposed to be doing. We need to look at the works of each other, and when you see it's good, you see it's right, you see it's impactful, then support that. And that's the main thing, the unity piece. And so that's what I see when I see, us coming together like this. I see the importance of, bringing beings together that may not have come together in any other way,
that part.
Yes, and bringing it together so that we can have be the example, be, you know, the images, be what we say we need instead of complaining about what we don't have and all these things. Create it. We could create. That's why I love doing events.
It's amazing
Exactly.
to me, you know, and I'm non-judgmental of youth, but they'll be like, I listen to all of your stuff and I watch all your videos and, you know, I want to change my diet, but then they don't know what Tassili's is. I'm like, all right, we'll come through. We're gonna be at Tassili's. So where's that at? So I'm like, I don't even know if the youth are like going to the next level to do the research and do the work. You feel me? So if we can offer a safe space just to get collecting a collection of people together,
Right.
just to inform them that these places exist.
Right.
You know, this could be the place that they meet Bay. This could be, you know, this could be the place that they end up changing their diet or end up working, you know what I mean, employing themselves. It's just so much that can come from a soul connection that you don't know. You know, we play our part to get them there, and then we fall back and let the magic happen.
Right.
Right.
So I like seeing that, you know.
That's really powerful. I'm glad you speak into that, because really we are the ones we've been waiting for. We do have to generate it from our DNA, the remembrance of what is encoded in our DNA. And that's why the theme this year is Return of the Gods and Goddesses.
Yes.
It's not about us running around acting like we superheroes and sheroes. It's about us turning within to meditate, be still, activate. Well, first of all, discover and then activate the God-Goddess code DNA that is in all of us. That's where our blueprint is. And so, yes, one of the things that I'll be speaking about specifically is the lineage of the youth that are coming forth, and how we are forging a path, following the path that was forged for us, you know, such that we can pass the proverbial baton to them, because you all have your own message to bring, which is pertinent to your generation. And then, you know, as the ones who I call the ones who came between the cracks between the world, because as brother spoke about earlier before we came on the show, music being designated by the kind of drugs that are on the street. So the 80s was referred to, a lot of people refer to as the generation of crack babies. I call them the ones who came between the cracks, in between the worlds, because that's where the age of Aquarius and Pisces was shifting, and we were actually stepping full on into the age of Aquarius. So I'll be speaking to that, because then we look at those who were the first ones that came through the cracks between the world, then the indigos, then the crystals, then the rainbows. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
Exactly.
We're coming to save ourselves and humanity, because truth be known, the planet is going to do what it needs to do to take care of itself. The question is, do we qualify as humans being to stay on the planet? Okay.
On that note, we're going to take a break. Yeah, everybody just let that marinate. Do we qualify as human beings to stay on the planet? You know, and we have to be honest and really put our metaphysical thinking caps on, you know, and just really think to the core of reality of what she's talking about, you know, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Stay in tune with yourself. I Ain't Our Radio.
Yeah.